everybody. Welcome to Rachel's Reviews. And today we are doing another one of our episodes where we rank the films from the Walt Disney Studios, the various branches and arms of Walt Disney. And we are now at the year 2011. So we've done over a decade of these rankings. I'll put a link in the description to the playlist of all the different ones that we've done from 2021 all the way to now. This one will be in there. So a whole decade of watching all of the movies from Walt Disney Animated Studios. I mean,
what have we taken on, Rachel?
I don't know. Whose idea was this?
I know. I mean, I'm so appreciative that you're on this journey. This, you come across a year like this one, and sure, there were some good movies, but there were so many bad ones. I just thought, what in the world is happening here?
This was pretty rough, but I think kind of the joy of doing this sort of project is it does get you to watch things that you would never watch before, and you find things that surprise you. And I certainly did.
Oh, I did too. I did too, for sure.
This going around. So I'm excited. There's 20 movies that we're going to cover.
Yes, we're leaving off Fright Night, and which is very kind of you. Thank you, because this Fright Night was a remake, if I'm not mistaken.
I've actually heard pretty good things about it. My followers on Letterboxd pretty much all give it pretty good scores. I mean, it has a good cast. I just didn't have time, and it's not really my favorite.
Yeah.
Since you weren't into it, I was just like, we can skip that one.
Yeah, we just skip it.
But yeah, I mean, it has Anton Yelchin, who I love. It was taken too soon. It's got Colin Farrell, Toni Collette, David Tennant. So it's got a great cast.
Yeah.
So if you've seen it and you want to tell us your ranking, if you're listening,
oh, absolutely,
we'd love to hear your thoughts about it for sure.
For sure.
All right, so we have 20 films. We have films that are animated films. We have Stanford's favorite, the Disney nature films. We've got DComs and Marvel and Muppets. It's a little bit of everything this year.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
All right. Well, what do you have at number 20?
Number 20, I've got Mars Needs Moms.
Yeah.
Which not only is the worst film of that year, but also just one of the worst films. It's so horrible, and I just don't even know how the thing got greenlit and how they even made it. It's just the worst.
Yeah, I did a video a while back of my bottom 15, I think, animated films of all time. And Mars Needs Moms has a spot in that.
Oh yeah,
yeah, in that list.
And it's so bad. So do you have it at the bottom too, Rach?
Yes, I also have it at 20. I would rather watch any of these movies several times than watch Mars Needs Moms.
Oh,
I mean, there's no, because at least like something like the Sweet Life, which I have next, but something like that, it's like for its fans, and it has fans. People who watch the show probably enjoy it. This is just for nobody. It's terrible. I mean, and I am a defender of a lot of these motion capture movies. We've talked about that before. I like Christmas Carol. I like Polar Express. I like Tintin. This is just, it looks terrible.
Yeah, it looks awful.
Brown and gray and really unpleasant. There's no sense of majesty about being in space or anything like that you might have in other science fiction films.
Yeah,
the pacing is terrible. It's really slow. I don't like the voice work particularly well. I mean, and just the whole concept.
Like any of the voice work.
Yeah, the whole concept that that you're gonna make a movie for kids about aliens stealing moms, like that's upsetting.
It's the whole thing's upsetting, and and then they suck their brains or whatever, and then just disintegrate the bodies. It's just it's so horrible. And the Martians look awful, and again, I mean, I hate motion capture unless they can. The only motion capture that I thought was barely tolerable was Avatar, because they weren't necessarily human. They were like the blue creatures. I thought all of the motion capture characters in this looked awful. Joan Cusack's character, and then the little boy, and then also the adult man that the little boy finds, horrible. Anyway, just
It's
Yeah.
just unpleasant in every way.
Soup to nuts.
Yeah. Well, what do you have at 19?
And so this is tricky because I kind of have like 5, like bottom 5 that are almost all equal, although Mars Needs Moms is definitely the worst. I have Romeo and Juliet at 19.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. I it's not that much higher for me. Yeah, I have The Sweet Life
Yeah.
next.
See, I have that at 18.
In
Which is,
fairness,
might as well have been 19 or 20 because
yeah,
it's
I
so
mean, in
horrible.
fairness, I didn't really finish it. I was just
Be grateful. I mean, holy cow.
I was just like this whole when it went all sci-fi and found the two. I'm sorry, Sweet Life fans, but I found them both be kind of obnoxious. I mean, I've seen Brenda Song in other things that I've liked. I've seen Cole Sprouse in other things that I've liked. As an adult, he's in. I think don't correct me on this, but I think he's actually in. I don't know, maybe it wasn't Oppenheimer. It's one of the I just remember hearing recently that he announcing for some big project. I was thinking it was Oppenheimer, but maybe it's not. But anyway, everybody's been announced for that movie.
Right.
But
There's
I've
so
seen
many,
him do good work before. Debbie Ryan, I've actually seen some good stuff from. I liked her. I've liked her in some stuff. So it's got like a decent cast. I'm sure if you love the show, I'm sure that you can get more enjoyment out of this than I could.
I wondered about that too, because again, if I've watched the show if I watched the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, one of the the sitcom, it was because of in proximity. I know that like my friends' kids, that was a show that they liked, when they as they were growing up, and
yeah.
And so but I didn't even recognize it because, I mean, number one, the twins, of course, are older, and you can't stop that, right? They're growing, but it just seems so foreign to what the show was about. Even they pulled these different characters in Brenda Song, and
yeah, that's true.
kind of like the guy
sci-fi
from the hotel and whatever, and then just turned it into this sci-fi piece of garbage that was just horrible. It was really painful to watch. I can't believe I got through it myself,
because originally this whole series with Cody and Zach, that it was all set up to be I think a competition for the Olsen twins,
right?
In their thing. So yeah, it was bad. What did you have at 19?
Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have that in just a couple spots. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
18, I have African Cats.
Okay. I can't believe that I have it higher.
I can't believe it too.
But it was the cinematography pushed it above these whole other horrible films. Because I did, it was pure torture watching that for me. I hated it so much.
It's one of my least favorites because I don't know. It's just hard to watch because these are predators and they're killing animals and things like that, which of course that's what they do. And I'm sure that's instructional for little kids and stuff. But like if I was a kid, I'd be pretty sad about the antelopes and stuff like that.
Know. And then not to mention the little leopard babies or the coot, whatever the coot, Like,
the butterfly one is the worst by far.
Oh.
But then this is probably my second least favorite.
It was torture. And as I said, I just the thing that always amazes me, I'm a broken record, but I think that the cinematography that they employ with these Disney nature films is phenomenal. Yeah. But I cannot stand them.
You would probably like
elevated
better the documentaries that go along with the Disney nature films.
Yeah.
Like profiling they've done that for the last couple ones with the dolphin.
How they do it. Yeah. I agree.
So what did you have at 18?
Okay, so at 18, I have the Sweet Life movie. Okay. Yeah.
Well, 17, I have Prom.
That's where I have Prom too.
Yeah.
And again, just kind of like this 4-way tie. That was the first time I'd ever seen Prom. I mean, I had, of course, heard about it, and I think it was kind of infamous in that it was kind of one of the only films that was it Rich Ross who was running Disney, he was like running Disney Channel, and then Bob Iger promoted him to run all of the motion picture business, and he was really out of his league, with it, and didn't last for very long. but Prom was one of the films that he greenlit, and I think he got a production credit on it too, or his company did. But oh my gosh, what a
Yeah,
horrible film.
it was pretty rough. I mean, it had a decent cast.
Now tell me about some of these cast members, because they're from.
Yeah, it was a lot of
Hallmark
Spot
movies?
the Hallmark. I'm sure this was filmed in Vancouver. I'm positive.
Okay.
Because there were a lot of Hallmark people. Amy Teagarden, she's been in a bunch of Hallmark movies. And it's hard. It is tough for me with her because she's so much her character on Friday Night Lights to me.
Oh,
I have a hard time even in her Hallmark movies of accepting that she's like a 30-year-old adult. Like, I need to move on, and I know it's not fair to her, and I feel bad, but also like her character Julie on Friday Night Lights was challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch that show?
I watched a couple of episodes, so I know that it was a beloved show, and
great.
But I just I just don't watch a ton of episodic TV.
I have such a crush on Kyle Chandler. I think he is.
Oh yeah,
so great. I love him so much, and he plays the lead in it.
He's the coach, right?
Yeah, he's the coach. Yeah. And it was just a very well written, very well done show.
Yeah.
And she played their daughter.
Okay.
Kyle Chandler, and so yeah. And
wow.
So
she's so older. As you said, I mean, right, to play this role.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. In 2011, I mean, she was probably like 21 is my guess.
Okay.
But I mean, there's a side of me that's like, if I was 12, 13, maybe I would have kind of found this sort of dreamy, and maybe I would have enjoyed it more. But there's just not a whole lot. But yeah, some of the Hallmark people, Amy Teagarden, Faith Ford as her mother. I could have used more of her because I love her. I think she's
Faith
really
Ford
good.
Was probably like the only bright spot.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I didn't really like her character.
Jonathan Keltz, he's in this. He's in a bunch of Hallmark stuff.
Who's he, Rachel? Remind me who did he play?
He was he was kind of the jerk at the it wasn't her ex, but it was he was kind of the popular kid that was rude to our rebel.
Yeah.
And I mean, this has a lot of the same ingredients of many other high school movies that end up at Prom. But
right.
The problem is that the characters were just super shallow. And even something like 10 Things I Hate About You, have more depth to even Heath Ledger's character. You get to know him a little bit, and you can see like he's not just a cliche. Like, he has moments that are softer and lighter where he's singing, to her at the stadium, but then and then moments where they're just talking and it gets real. You don't have any of that here. It's just kind of, I don't know.
Every character is a cliche, as you say, as said. And that, and I think you and I had bantered about this jokingly, in that, sure. And it's also, I think, an important part in a high school movie that prom's a big deal. Prom's important, but I mean, hello, it's the title of the film, and then they make it like prom is the only event that matters in your life. And then also the characters are so shallow, so uninteresting. The challenges that they face just to me were so boring. Just was amazed that the film even got made.
I'm just amazed that I survived into a healthy adult and never went to prom. How am I not more scarred?
One of those, maybe you can just feel grateful. Although you watch them and be like Prom, and you'd be like, oh.
Yeah, I had my appendix out the weekend of Prom. It's the only time that I have ever been in a hospital overnight was when I had my appendix out. And here's funny story is the night that I was in the hospital was the night of the Seinfeld finale.
Oh my goodness.
I watched the Seinfeld finale.
Is
historically extremely disappointing. But
yeah, because it was to say, which wasn't good. No. But still memorable, right? Or unforgettable, really.
Yeah.
There you were in the hospital and Prom was going on. And Seinfeld.
Yeah. But I did go to some dances. I went to Winter Formal and I went to Homecoming. That was fun. But they didn't have it here in Utah. They make way bigger deal out of the dances than they do where I was growing up.
Don't even get me started how stupid I think all that is, but again, easy for me to say.
Yeah, people do these like really elaborate like promposals and like,
and they have it's a whole day's worth of activities.
Yeah, I mean, when I went to Homecoming, I just asked my friend if he wanted to go with me in the hallway. Yeah. Like there was no giant production of it.
Yeah. We were expected to do something creative.
What are you doing in like 2 weeks?
That's right.
Oh, you want to go to Homecoming?
Right. Well, and then we would go to dinner and then go to the dance. But now it's like the dance is just like maybe you show up for part of it. At least what I hear from my friends' kids is that they have to plan some kind of day activity where they go do something, horseback riding or something, kind of ridiculous like that. And then it's time to get dressed. And then you do something and you go to dinner and then you go to a party and then another party. And I'm just it's crazy.
Yeah.
And at least they didn't do that in this crappy movie. But honestly, it made me long for High School Musical. Because it was like,
oh, no question.
We at least have something fun and characters that we like or or kind of hate, but they're fun to hate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, and you got the good song. I think High School Musical's leagues better.
Oh, no question. No question. So I guess I can say now I've seen Prom, but wow. I can understand why I missed it back in the day.
All right. Well, my number 16 is where I have Romeo and Juliet.
Okay.
Because I do think that this is like serviceable, I guess.
They try, and I like Elton John, and there's stuff that.
And I do like the way that the sound design. I know it's a weird thing, but the way that you can hear the clink, 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 clink.
No, it was clever. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And I like Elton John, so some of the songs. It's like if you were babysitting kids and you needed entertainment, it's like. Again, serviceable. I wouldn't want to like gouge my eyes out.
Yeah.
But and compared to the Sherlock Gnomes, the sequel, it's it's way better.
That's so bad.
I mean, I don't really like if the only thing that we take away from Romeo and Juliet is the feuding families, because it's so much. Obviously they're not going to have the death and destruction and tragedy and whatever that you have in like a children's film about gnomes, but nevertheless I also kind of like I don't really like that you're sort of painting this as an adaptation when it's clearly not at all.
I totally agree. I think for me too, I thought whether it be Elton John or who knows, I don't want to give anybody credit or not, give them proper credit, but they came up with, I thought, this clever title. It's like, what about Romeo and Juliet? We make it about garden gnomes. Get it? Yeah. And that's like,
that's true. It does feel like a movie that got greenlit in a brainstorming session.
Yes. Yeah.
Romeo. Oh, Romeo.
and again, kind of bummed me out because again, I like Elton John. I think garden gnomes are cute, and then there was potential, but I sure didn't care for it.
Yeah, don't see the sequel.
I think I stayed away from the sequel too because it looked. I probably read your review, Rachel. I was like, pass. I'm gonna pass.
Great service that I do for you people.
I know, you take one for the team. So at 16, I have, speaking of High School Musical, Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure, which I absolutely hated.
Oh, okay.
Oh, great. Yeah. I maybe I was being too hard on it, but I mean, frankly, I kind of wanted High School Musical in a way. I mean, not a rehash, but like, I don't know. There was a lot of. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on it because I don't want to overthink it either, but like number one, like I wish your brother at least showed up.
Yeah, and it is a little bit weird that the guy she ends up falling for, it looks exactly like her brother.
Uh-huh.
That's a little
That's
weird.
exactly weird. And then also, I'm like, I thought, Ashley Tisdale is, pretty fun and talented,
Yeah.
right? It's got a good comedic sense. And this movie's about the dogs. There's so much about these two dogs. And
Yeah.
I just felt like it was I just thought it was a real missed opportunity. Really, really cruddy script. Ashley Tisdale, I think, does her best to get through it. But I just thought it was just a joke. Yeah, what's your take on that one?
Well,
I guess we'll get to it.
I have it just a hair higher, not much.
Okay. Yeah,
not much.
See, at 15, I have African Cats. Because again, the cinematography, I have that at 15. Because the cinematography of that beats all the other ones, and that was it. Because I would have put off the film. I mean, Marzi's Mom's definitely the bottom, but I would have put African Cats, Sharpay, Prom, Sweet Life, and Romeo and Juliet kind of all at the same level. That was almost like a tie.
Yeah, they're not great. Tie. None of those are great. I have at 15, I have Cars 2. I do like the animation, and I like kind of the bonkers nature of it.
Yeah.
That it's just sort of crazy, and I think I appreciate it on that level. And I mean, just something like there's a Pope car. I always think that's hilarious. So if there's a Pope car, that means that Catholicism exists in the world of
the Cars world.
Yeah. Which means that Jesus exists. There's a Jesus car. Which I find really funny. But
it's kind of mind-blowing, isn't it? Like,
but this is not a great film. I mean, there's
film.
Too much Mater.
Well, it's a one joke movie.
Yeah. It's
I have it higher, which we'll get to. And again, because again, I'm broken record, but I love the Cars aesthetic so much.
Well, and you love cars so much.
And then I love cars, automobiles, so but it's really a terrible film. Don't get me wrong, it's a terrible film.
Well,
totally guilty pleasure for me.
I have Sharpay at actually 14.
Oh, okay.
And I guess what I did appreciate, I actually didn't mind the music. I thought
I didn't mind the music. I just wanted more.
That's fair.
And get rid of the dogs.
And I thought that, I'm more of a fan of this kind of Broadway style music than I am the music in Lemonade Mouth, as far as style.
Yes, as far as
less my style. And I have to admit, I kind of like the whole sort of Legally Blonde kind of Clueless.
It had that vibe to it.
Yeah, and I liked Ashley Tisdale in the role, and I thought there were some cute moments. I definitely didn't feel as strongly about it. It's pretty blah to me, but I thought it had its moments, I guess, to get it to 14.
I mean, I can't believe I was getting all ticked off at this this movie about Sharpay. I just really was like, I don't really care. But I think I was just frustrated.
Yeah.
It was like, I just because I was frustrated with the script. Because
we'll talk
I can't believe that they let the dogs take over the movie the way they did.
Because we talk about Geek Charming, and that actually has a similar plot, to be honest, about the, diva girl, and it's, in my opinion, really good.
Yeah.
And so they could have done more to elevate it, but I guess just the songs I thought were pretty good, and so that and some of the like Legally Blonde kind of moments were fun to me. So that gets it to 14, but it's not a great film.
Yeah. My 14 is Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides.
I have that at 13.
Okay. Yeah.
We're pretty close.
Yeah, we're pretty close. That's what a terrible film. I think too, it was like, for me, it was Pirates of the Caribbean fatigue. It was like, do we really need another one of these movies that does nothing new? I mean, I like Penelope Cruz, but I kind of thought her role could have been really played by anybody. And
you really felt the loss of Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom's characters.
I know. It was just like, what are you guys thinking?
And for some reason, on the first watch, I kind of gave this a little bit of a pass. I was like, oh, it's not that bad. But Then when I watched it, this was 2020, I did a video on ranking the Disney park movies. I actually had this last in my Pirates ranking. Yeah, of the 5 films.
Yeah.
Because it just does nothing. It's so
Yeah.
bland.
It's
And
just a nothing burger.
you get tired of Jack Sparrow so much. You need the other characters to kind of he's a great supporting character, kind of like Sharpay in a way. Great supporting character, not great lead character.
Yep. Absolutely.
His antics and his selfishness and you get really old, and the whole subplot in this movie with
the mermaid subplot.
The mermaids. That's what I was just gonna say. Was so bad
in the world.
It was terrible, and it's a shame because like the first 3 movies, they have their flaws, but I do admire the fact that they really went for it in creating this like, deep lore and the action and the visual effects and just everything.
We're all really top notch, and you know, and these characters that we all love. I think I mean, I really did initially like Jack Sparrow a lot, and
he got nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah,
Johnny
exactly. Depp. And then Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley and Jeffrey Rush. I mean, they're terrific. But it just felt like this was just a cash grab.
Yeah, this is well over 2 hours. It really lags. It's just not well done. It's not good.
Yeah.
What do you have at 12?
Okay, well, at 13, I have Real Steel.
Yeah. See, this is one that we have very different. I have this much higher.
Okay. Cool. And then at 12, I have Lemonade Mouth. So
cool. Yeah. So I have at so where did you have Pirates then?
Pirates was for me at 14.
14. Oh, okay, 14.
And you had it at 13, right?
Right. Yeah, I did 13. Okay, so at 12 is where I have I Am Number 4, but I would say there's actually a pretty big step there between those two. Like I would definitely way rather watch I Am Number 4 than the Pirates movie.
Yeah.
So and this was a surprise for me because I was dreading it. I thought it looked terrible.
Me too, because I had why this is my first time watching it.
Me too, and it does definitely scream of Twilight wannabeism.
Oh, it wouldn't have been made, if Twilight had not been a hit.
And I'm sure I have never read the book. I'm sure the book is probably way better, but it was watchable. It was serviceable. It has a good cast. I mean, I think the lead is kind of bland, but so is Edward in Twilight. I think it was so obviously trying to be an Edward type. With and then I feel like Deanna Agron's character was definitely both her and what's her name? Teresa Palmer, they both look a lot like Kristen Stewart.
They do. I know. I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
But Timothy Olyphant, he's always good. It's just kind of Alien Twilight, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah, I have an I Am Number 4 at number 9. So I have it a little higher. But I was really pleasantly surprised by it. I thought it was an apocalyptic movie, a teen apocalypse movie.
Yeah.
But it's sci-fi and I thought it was pretty entertaining. Not not the worst, but wow, definitely better than many of these other offerings from the year.
I don't remember what that movie was with Chloe Grace Moretz. That was the apocalyptic movie.
Oh my gosh, I saw that. It was so bad.
So bad.
And I blocked it out of my mind.
Yeah, that whole genre of dystopian, both Twilight / Hunger Games. I mean, I'm not a fan of the Hunger Games. I've only seen one of the movies, but I hated the books, and so I never watched the movies. And
I saw the first movie,
the first one,
and haven't seen any of the others because I didn't care for it at all.
Agreed. Me too. So you had Lemonade Mouth at 12?
I have the Lemonade Mouth at 12. Real Steel at 13, which we can talk about when we get to.
Okay.
And then Lemonade Mouth at 12. Yeah.
I have Lemonade Mouth at 11.
Okay.
So
I'm just like,
close.
we're close.
Yeah.
Just a little behind them, but kind of this ballpark.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, this is really charming. This is
Yeah, it was
definitely
fun.
a good decom.
Yeah, just breezy decom. I
Mhm.
thought I'm with you. The music wasn't necessarily my favorite, but I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. And when the songs came on, I didn't cringe.
Yeah. And Bridget Mendler, she is definitely one of the best, I think, to come out of that era. I don't know what she's done anything lately, but I like her. I mean, I love, we'll talk about it. Good Luck Charlie, I think was a really good show.
Yeah.
And I just think she has a charisma and a presence that a lot of those Disney tween stars don't really have.
I agree. In fact, a lot of ways, I thought she carried the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, and of course, Naomi Scott ended up becoming a pretty big star. She was in
Yes.
Aladdin and The Martian and other
Right.
movies.
Right. And I just hadn't really because again, me, I just haven't watched any of these decoms until we've been doing these podcasts. And yeah, it was fun to see her. Like, oh yeah, there's Naomi Scott. Who knew that she was doing these movies before she did Aladdin?
Yeah, it makes you want to get one of those lemonades that they constantly drink.
I know.
I'm so thirsty.
That was it was fun. I know I want one of those too.
So what do you have at I think we're at 10?
So at 11.
Oh, okay. What do you have at 11?
So at 12, I have Lemonade Mouth. And then at 11, I have Good Luck Charlie.
And I have that at 10.
That was a big surprise to me, actually, how cute Good Luck Charlie was. I had heard from other people that were saying that that's a fun series. And then you told me that that's a series that you enjoyed or connected with too. And I could totally see why, One of the things I liked about it, Rachel, and I'll be anxious to hear, your thoughts, is that it's one just, it seems like kind of classic Disney Channel sitcom where the family's kind of kooky and they have their conflicts, whatever, but ultimately they love each other. Mm-hmm. And that part, that just resonates with me. That just makes me happy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it really resonates for me because the whole story of the show is that you have a family with teenagers and they have a new baby. And so she's making videos to give advice to Charlie, the baby. Good luck, Charlie. And that was something definitely I connected with because my mom had a baby when I was 10, a baby when I was 16, and a baby when I was 18. So that was a big part of my life, is kind of welcoming. I probably didn't do a great job, but trying to welcome these new siblings into my life and kind of being mini mom a lot of the time and taking care and that. And that's just something I connected with. And yes, this is kind of just a long episode of the show, but it's also a Christmas movie, which obviously I connect with and enjoy.
And filmed in Utah.
And I think that when there's just something about, in my opinion, about Christmas movies that makes some of these sort of shenanigans more tolerable.
Yeah.
Than they would be any other time.
Yeah. Because the full title, we should say, is, Good Luck Charlie, It's Christmas, right? Isn't that the full title of this particular movie we watched? Yeah.
Yeah. And the relationship between Teddy and Charlie is very sweet, and the relationship between her and her mom, all of those just works well. And I just think it's the best show that, in fairness, I haven't seen a lot of the shows, but it's the best of any of the ones that I've watched on Disney Channel.
I can see why there'd be it was very appealing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what do you have at 10?
So at 10, I have Geek Charming.
Yeah. So I have that at 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't that good?
It was so good.
I can't believe it. I was watching it because initially again, it was just kind of like with I Am Number 4. I was like, oh, this is gonna be so bad. Or I was feeling like it was Prom, kind of
Yeah.
reincarnated, but it turned into something so different. And I thought there was really a level of maturity to it, and I just loved these character arcs. I'm a real sucker for a good character arc, and I thought that really, yeah, it was good.
It just shows what a good script can do. It always
Yes,
comes down to the
exactly.
script.
Yeah,
Because we have this girl who she's basically sort of typecast by this guy to be this diva that he's going to chronicle for this documentary that he's going to make. And it turns out there's a lot more to her than he gave credit, that she has this past with her mother, and passing, and this grief and struggles, and as things get harder for her, like, I thought that Sarah Hyland did a great job. I really felt for her.
I thought Sarah Hyland really delivered a great performance. Yeah.
And when she sees the documentary when it's played, and she leaves crying, I mean, it was definitely very, very well done, and I felt for her character. Yeah. There is, you do kind of spot the Hallmark actor in this as well, including the big mean girl on school is Andrew Brooks, who I've interviewed her 5 times. So it was sort of
okay. She been in she's just a lot of Hallmark movies.
She's on One Calls the Heart. Yeah.
Oh, she's okay in that series. Gotcha.
Yeah, and we just interviewed her like 2 weeks ago. So it was funny to watch this movie and be like, oh, see, here's this mean girl.
What kind of role does she play on the Hallmark show?
She's a nurse. Now she's a doctor in One Calls the Heart, and her name's Faith on the show. And anyway,
so a little different kind of character than the one she played in Geek Charming.
But I thought there was pretty good chemistry between Sarah Hyland and the guy.
Yeah,
that worked pretty well, and I don't know, I just really liked it. I thought it was a well done. I would say that this and Cloud 9 are the best non-musical DCOMs that we've reviewed.
Cloud 9 was, I can't remember what year that was, but it was the snowboarding one with Dove Cameron, right?
Yes,
which was really, really terrific, for a DCOM. I thought I liked that one a lot.
Yeah. All right, so I have at number, Charlie at number 10, number 9, I have Phineas and Ferb, the movie.
Okay.
And this is just really fun, very funny. I don't watch the show. I saw the more recent movie in 2020. I think it was the Candace versus the world one. And I enjoyed that. And I enjoyed this. I like the characters. I like the humor. It's very enjoyable.
Yeah, I'm with you. I have Phineas and Ferb at number 8. I have that, as I mentioned, I am number 4 at number 9, which just really surprised me. That I thought that was an entertaining movie. Imperfect, and it's a little high, but then look at the craft that's below it. So that's just why it's a little.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's underrated. I kind of got.
I think it kind of got a short shift, in a way, because it was entertaining. And then I'm with you. I've watched some Phineas and Ferb. I haven't watched a ton, but I'm always entertained. I think it's always funny, and I'm with you. I like the humor, and I thought this movie was just breezy and fun, very congruent with the series. It's not like what the Sweet Life movie was trying to do, which is again what limited knowledge I had about the series. But it's like, no, that's not the show. Yeah. And I think it's like, and again, like the strength of the Good Luck Charlie, it's Christmas movie, and that, as you said, that kind of felt like just episodes strung together, but it was the show. It wasn't like trying to be just something so weird and out there. And so anyway, I thought Phineas and Ferb was a blast. So I have it at 8.
Yeah. All right. Well, now we're getting into these next 7 are all pretty high.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna anxious to.
New quadrant, I would say.
Yeah, we're in the big league
Yeah.
now.
Well, number 7, I have The Help. And I think I would have probably had this if I'd been doing this ranking in 2011. I would have probably had this higher. But I mean, there are some parts about it that are a little problematic, that are a little cliched, that why do you have to have the white person telling the black people's stories? And there's definitely some white savior complexes and different things. But I have to say, at the time, I absolutely loved the book and I loved this movie, and I still think it has its moments, and I still overall enjoy it. I understand people that don't enjoy it, but I love Viola Davis is so great. I really I love her as Aibileen. I think she's really good. Bryce Dallas Howard is a little much, a little over the top, I think, sometimes in this. But Octavia Spencer, great, hilarious as Minnie. Allison Janney, she is a lot, but understandable, I guess, during this time. I don't know. It's a good movie. I really like Jessica Chastain. I think her performance is really good in the movie. So it's gone on to have so many Oscar winners from this movie. It's kind of funny, since somebody
it
was
is
pointing,
interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
so was pointing out that we need more women-centric films, because on this cast you have Emma Stone, who has an Oscar, Viola Davis, who now has an Oscar, Octavia Spencer, Bryce, she doesn't have one, Jessica Chastain will probably have one soon, and Allison Janney, Mary Steenburgen. Was a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Cicely Tyson.
Yeah, she had one.
Yeah.
So.
And Sissy Spacek, didn't Sissy Spacek have an Oscar too? Did you already say?
Oh yeah, Sissy Spacek. Yep.
I mean, yeah. I have this ranked a little higher, which we can get to, but but I have not read the book. I've only seen the film.
Yeah. It was a big book club book, and
I was going to say I remember it, just being kind of like all the rage.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, it had this very popular film adaptation. And yeah,
my favorite parts were the Aibileen parts, and because it's one of those books where it switches off narrators every chapter.
Yeah.
And the Skeeter parts, which was the white character, were my least favorite parts. And I have to say, I think I felt that way also about the movie, that I wish the whole movie was just about Aibileen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would have been better.
Yeah,
but I still like it. But
it really felt to me that Skeeter was the protagonist in the film.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what it felt like.
Oh yeah,
to me, as far as the way that they wrote the script.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair? Is that accurate?
Yeah, okay. Definitely. So it's, again, not a bad film, but I just have it at 7. What do you have at 7?
At 7, I have Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, okay, good.
I think this movie was so cute, and I loved the songs from Bobby Lopez and Christina Anderson Lopez, and I was so happy that and then hand-drawn animation again, really, but with just current day sensibilities, with the an interpretation of Winnie the Pooh. There was just so much I liked about it. I thought I didn't just love the Braxton story, or Braxton, or I don't say that right. I mean, it was
Baxton.
Baxton, yeah. The back. I mean, it was clever, but I mean, so I wish that the movie had been longer, and that it had a better plot.
Yeah, I can.
or better vignettes. However they did it. But I loved the look of it. I loved Zooey Deschanel singing the songs. That really worked for me. I thought that she just had kind of the right voice for the time period.
It was fun to do something different.
Yeah, different. Mm-hmm. That was familiar but new, and but it just wasn't a home run for me. And I am so baffled at how Disney let it die, how they didn't even try. I mean, they put it, opening weekend was against Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. It was like the movie that everybody's been waiting for 10 years.
Yeah, it's so weird when they do that. I don't understand. Like, if you've got a film, why don't you at least do something with it?
Because I know there's always counter programming. Because I was thinking when we came in, maybe thinking that Harry Potter's going to sell out, and then people will, will just say, "Oh, well, let's go see Winnie the Pooh."
Well, and plus that movie, that Harry Potter movie is very scary. I mean, it is not for little children that are going to
no,
be for
right,
Winnie the Pooh.
exactly. So,
So,
yeah. So anyway, Winnie the Pooh's a mixed bag for me. I sure wish that it had been, longer and better, but
well,
still, it was cute.
number 6 is Where I Have Real Still. So I just watched
Okay.
this today and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a sweet family story. I really enjoyed the relationship between Hugh Jackman and this little boy, I mean his son. That whole bond I thought was good. It was basically like a family drama meets sports movie that
Yeah.
happened to have robots, and I thought that the boxing scenes were pretty fun. I was getting excited and cheering and getting invested. I do think the movie's a little bit too long. Could probably have about 30 minutes cut off, but I like the pretty much the whole cast, and like I said, I think this bond between Hugh Jackman and this boy was really nice, and I thought it was charming.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I might have been a little too harsh on it to put it where I did because I've got it at 13. I
Mhm.
think for me it was the length, the
Yeah,
runtime,
that
and
is its biggest flaw. There's no doubt.
and then also I think I sometimes just get a little too tired when something is too. I felt like it was kind of a bit maudlin.
Mhm.
I mean, I do appreciate authentic dramatic emotion, but this one I felt like it was just trying too hard, or it was trying to, again, just being maudlin or manipulative of
I can see that.
of the viewer.
It's
But
definitely
still,
trying to hit those sort of inspirational sports movie kind of
yes,
buttons.
exactly. And I think in some ways is successful. I agree. I like the cast. I thought Hugh Jackman was good, and I thought the special effects were pretty cool. I mean, those fighting robots, or I thought they looked good.
Yeah, I mean, and considering this came out in the era of Transformers movies, I mean,
Yeah,
this is way better. I would way
yeah.
rather watch
Oh,
this.
absolutely, absolutely. So I might have, again, it was a tough one for me. Again, I think it was maybe a little unfair. I just like these other movies better.
Yeah, I mean,
You
everybody
know,
has the ranking, so that's
yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
But yeah, I have it at 6. What do you have at 6?
At 6, I have Thor.
Okay, yeah.
I don't love Thor, this particular movie. I don't hate it, but I mean, there's some stuff I like about it. Of course, Loki is fantastic, and I love the cast. I mean, Anthony Hopkins and Renee Russo. Uh, and I was actually pretty excited when I was reading about it initially, back in the day, and learning that Kenneth Branagh was directing it. I just felt like it's like Shakespeare meets a comic book, and it was just I thought it was just that was so appealing. But I think somehow in the execution of it, it doesn't work. I mean, clearly I've got it ranked at number 6, so I mean I just liked it enough to put it in my top 10. But then again, there's a lot of crappy movies below it.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty for me. It's middle near the bottom quadrant of my Marvel
Of your
rankings.
Marvel rankings, yeah.
Yeah, but
And I haven't really enjoyed it on rewatches either. I mean, I'll tolerate it just because there's so much I like Loki, and and I just said I love Renee Russo and all that. But
yeah, well, my number 5, I actually have Captain America: The First Avenger. I do like the style of this movie. I think Joe Johnson brings a lot of old-fashioned sensibility to it that I enjoy. Love Peggy. I like the origin of Steve Rogers and Captain America and everything. That's all good. Uh, things with Red Skull are less compelling to me, and sort of the second half of the movie isn't, I think, as good as sort of the setup for the movie. I still overall enjoy it, but it's definitely my least favorite of the Captain America films. Uh, really, any of the films that Steve is in, I think this is the worst one.
okay, we've got a different top 5 rates for
Ah,
sure, which is fun. I mean, we're
yeah.
mixing it up. We're
All
mixing it
right.
up.
Um,
So
What do you have at 5?
So a 5, and I will own it, and I'm probably going to get hate mail from your wonderful followers. I have Cars 2 because
Oh my gosh,
which it is not worthy of a top 5 movie, but you still I love the Cars aesthetic so much, and these other movies were so I could almost watch it on mute, and still just love looking at the eye candy of it. So I know it's controversial, and I anyway.
I don't hate Cars 2.
It's not good though. I mean, I will totally admit this is not a good movie, but I just love Cars so much. It's just where it is. It is what it is. I just couldn't rank it any lower because I just love it so much. I do the aesthetic. Let me just prove the aesthetic. The movie is not good, but
well, I have Thor at 4.
Okay.
And I love Loki and I love Thor. I love their dynamic. I love Chris Hemsworth and Tom Hiddleston in the roles. I do think that Natalie Portman is just not great. They don't have good chemistry, but I do think some of the fish out of water sequences are pretty fun with Thor, and he's so charming and funny, and Rene Russo, Anthony Hopkins, all have Idris Elba. They all have their moments. I like the family dynamics. I do think that Darcy is super annoying in this movie, and I was glad that she was in WandaVision because at least she was not. Because I felt like that was sort of there was redemption for her character, because I'm really not a fan of Darcy.
Yeah, I mean, seems like Kat Dennings just plays herself. Although I thought how they wrote her role in WandaVision was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They kind of redeemed. That's the great thing about the MCU is you have a character that is not great, that you have a world where you can make them better in the next movie.
Rachel was that Colm Fiore guy. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right. Who's like King Lawfully? Is he the villain? No.
Yeah, because he's the one he tries to kill Odin.
Yeah, he's the guy who tries to kill Odin, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's it.
So sorry again. Another reason I'm gonna get hate mail from your wonderful followers. They're like, who is this loser that loves Cars 2 and can't remember the plot from 4? Sorry.
No, I'm just saying. Sorry. But I have a hard time putting anything with Tom Hiddleston and Chris Hemsworth that low, because I just find them so charming and funny and wonderful. And I do, love scenes like when Thor's at the diner. I love scenes like that. So, and I mean, they did have an incredible cast for this. I mean, the whole MCU, I mean, you can't deny that the casting has been incredible.
Yeah, the casting
There's very few misses.
It's really quite something with the MCU.
Yeah.
So what do you said number 4, right? The Thor is at 4 for you, is that right?
Yeah, so I have the two Marvels next to each other, 4 and 5.
For my number 4, I have the Muppets.
Okay, yeah.
And I thought this Muppets reboot was just super fun. I don't mean to be overly critical. I just have never felt that Disney Muppets have really. This one came as close as capturing what I thought the Muppets really were, prior to Disney purchasing them, than any other, any of some of these other projects. Jason Segel was fine. I thought the new little Muppet they introduced was cute. Walter was cute. Love Amy Adams. And again, I thought they captured kind of the zaniness of it, but not just perfectly for me. But it was still, I thought it was entertaining. And hello, it's my number 4 of the year.
Yeah. So I have at number 3 is where I have Winnie the Pooh.
Okay.
So sweet, so fun. I love the animation, love the music. and it's a great movie for, you know, little kids, like toddler level, like very
Yeah.
little, which you don't see that often. And I think it's a worthy follow-up to the original, which, you know, I love that original Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So good.
my biggest flaw with it is that I don't think they nailed the voice casting on some of
All
the.
right.
They also kind of made Rabbit and Owl the same character.
Mm-hmm.
They're both kind of crotchety and kind of.
Yeah, just annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
uh,
Self-absorbed and annoying.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that was kind of weird, but overall, I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I have it at 3. What do you have at
All
3?
right. At 3, I have Warhorse,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
which I just thought was a beautiful film. I just a beautiful, poignant, maybe not necessarily perfect, but it's such a compelling story, you know. And I just thought it really played well to Steven Spielberg's strengths as you know, as a director and a storyteller.
Yeah.
And you know, again, maybe overly melodramatic, but that's also kind of the point.
Mhm.
You know, that this horse overcomes a lot. Uh, uh, but I think it's a beautiful film.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a really well done film. And when there's that whole scene when the horse is caught in the barbed wire, oh my gosh,
Oh my gosh, rip
brutal.
your heart out.
It's brutal. I have it at number 2.
Okay, yeah,
Mm-hmm. So
nice.
what do you have at number 2?
I have Help
Okay, yeah.
at
Mm-hmm.
number 2, and I I appreciate all your, you know, your comments about it. Maybe again, not wanting to question every one of my choices, Rachel. Maybe I do have it a little too high, but uh, I just it's a film. I thought it was just very good, and power powerhouse acting. You know, Viola Davis and is just so good, and Octavia Spencer, and I really like Emma Stone too. So
Yeah.
just for me that worked. I agree with you. Like the mean girls, the mean racist girls, uh, maybe you're a little too much. The Bryce Dallas Howard, you know, and whatnot. But
Yeah,
I
I mean it's
I
hard because you want to make it so you feel that sense of revenge and victory when Minnie sends the pie.
sense the pie. Yeah,
Hmm. But yeah, I mean it's a movie I like. I just can understand why it's gotten some pushback over the years.
oh
I get it.
sure,
I get it.
yeah, no, absolutely, and I'm not wanting to be insensitive to
Mhm.
that. It just again in a movie in a year with a lot of really bad movies, I thought it stood out.
Mhm. Yeah,
You know, bad movies from Disney.
agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
What do you have at
Well,
number 2?
I have
Then.
Warhorse at number
Oh,
2.
duh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my number 1 is the Muppets.
Hey,
That's my number
nice.
1. Yeah. I love Muppets. I have, you know, a whole series on my channel for Muppet May where I've reviewed all of the Muppets, and we're going to be doing that again and this next
Fun.
this year. Yeah. So much fun. We get to review that new Muppet Haunted Mansion,
That Haunted Mansion film. Yeah.
which I really enjoyed. And so I love the Muppets. I think they're really funny, really sweet. And, you know, I'm a sucker for a musical. Everyone knows that. And these are very musical, you know, musical sequences, you know, where life's a happy song, you know, kind of a thing. And that's
Yeah.
totally me. And that's what I love. And I loved all of breaking the fourth wall and the moments that were really funny. You know, there's a lot of cameos in this movie, and for the most part, I think they work and are funny. And to me, this is the one that worked. Muppets Most Wanted is the one that didn't work.
I didn't care for Muppets Most Wanted.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I thought that this Muppets film was really quite good, but
Yeah.
Muppets Most Wanted was not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I love Man or a Muppet. That's hilarious.
Oh.
And I can't believe that it won the Oscar. There were only 2 nominees.
That's hilarious.
How could they only have 2 best song nominees that year? What? So weird.
So weird.
There were no other songs.
Like, really?
Any movie? I mean, you could have nominated some of the songs from Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, exactly.
So weird. But anyway, I did feel a lot of nostalgia watching the Muppets, and I just think it's very sweet and funny. And when it came to push comes to shove, I was really thinking about which one would I most want to watch right now, watch again. The Muppets was the one that I felt like was
That's the
my
one.
favorite. It was my
Yeah.
favorite. So yeah.
Yeah. And for me, my number one is Captain America, the First Avenger.
Mm-hmm.
I think as an action movie, it's just stellar. I'm with you. I think the other Captain America standalone films have been better, particularly Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which is my favorite
Love it, yeah.
of that. But I love this one. I love this one for many of the reasons that you said. Joe Johnston's kind of retro direction of it. And I agree with you. The Red Skull stuff, I don't know, isn't perfect, but it's still of all the films of 2011, it's the one that stands out to me as being my favorite.
Yeah, I guess at least we could remember him instead of the Thor guy who were like, who was he? Who was the villain?
Like, what was the villain in Thor? Loki.
But yeah, and like I do think that the Peggy Steve relationship is the best relationship of the MCU.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that they did justice. I thought they did justice to it in that those double Avenger films.
Because I was really annoyed with Sharon Carter is not my favorite, and when he's like, I didn't like that at all. I'm like, what are you doing with her niece? That is weird. So I was so happy that they brought it back.
Yeah.
And I guess we got more Sharon in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but
right.
I didn't need her. I didn't need more Sharon. So yeah, but yeah, no, I can see why that's your number one. It's a good film. It's in my top 5, so I enjoyed it, and I think that it's a very unique film within the MCU. It has a different feel, different. It's
a real different
palette.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the cinematography and everything about it is just it's got a very very unique style. I think it's an imperfect film, but it's definitely one that I could really watch anytime and be happy.
I still think it's so weird that the Red Skull is that guy in the Infinity War movies. He's like that. I always thought that was very strange.
I thought it was a weird choice too. I read an interview with the Russo brothers that were talking about that, and that was something, if I'm not mistaken, Rachel, that they created. That they decided, they're like, wouldn't it be cool if we brought Red Skull back, and where can we put him? And like, oh, we could put him here. So it was almost like
weird.
It was like this kind of weird process of elimination. Like, who can we put there? But because I agree with you, it seemed disjointed, other than the initial cool part of like, oh wow, it's Red Skull.
Yeah, I was like, what is he doing there? Why is he there? He's a villain.
Yeah,
he's a Nazi. Why is he like the gatekeeper? I'm sure some people know listening, but I didn't understand it.
Yeah, no one. And I'm with you. And it almost seemed like he was, for me, it was like, well, maybe because this gatekeeper thing is kind of nefarious because someone has to die.
I guess
maybe they had to bring somebody creepy there, but
All right, well, let's go over a ranking real quick. So I have the Muppets number 1, I have Warhorse at 2, Winnie the Pooh at 3, Thor at 4, Captain America: The First Avenger at 5, Real Steel at 6, The Help at 7, Geek Charming at 8, Phineas and Ferb the movie at 9, Good Luck Charlie, It's Christmas at 10, Lemonade Mouth at 11, I Am number 4 at 12, Pirates of the Caribbean, Stranger Ties 13, Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure at 14, Cars 2 at 15, Romeo and Juliet at 16, Prom at 17, African Cats at 18, The Sweet Life movie at 19, and Mars Needs Mom at 20.
Woo! So I think we matched on 2, Rachel. I'll read my listeners segment. Prom at 17 and Marcy's mom at 20.
Yeah.
The only two.
But then we had a bunch that we were basically like couples.
Yeah, they were like one or two apart. But so for me, number 1, Captain America, the First Avenger. 2, The Help. 3, Warhorse. 4, The Muppets. 5, Cars 2, even though, I'm gonna get, I said I'm gonna hopefully people will still, listen to this, Rachel, after.
Don't stop listening.
They're like, what is that? 4 at 6. 7 is Winnie the Pooh. 8, Phineas and Ferb the movie. 9, I Am Number 4. 10, Geek Charming. 11, Good Luck Charlie, It's Christmas. 12, Lemonade Mouth. 13, Real Steel. 14, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. 15, African Cats. 16, Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure. 17, Prom. 18, The Sweet Life Movie. 19, Romeo and Juliet. And 20, Mars Needs Moms.
And we both never forget that we both watched Prom for all of you listening.
I know. That's how dedicated we are.
So Stanford,
2 hours we'll never get back.
Thank you so much for doing this. And how can people find you and your content?
Oh, thank you, Rachel. This has been so fun. I'm on Twitter. I'm at Stanford Clark. I've got a movie podcast and blog, which is at moviespastandpresent.com. And follow me on Instagram. I'm at moviespap, as in past and present.
And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So check that out. Also, make sure you're following us at the Hallmarkies podcast. We've got lots of fun stuff going over there, and I'd really appreciate it. And check out the Patreon group and the merch store. We have #Animation Junkie shirts and a lot of other fun designs over there. And if you're listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. That helps us so much. And if you are listening on YouTube, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate that so much. And this is always a blast. We'll look forward to diving into 2010. Hopefully
2010.
Hopefully it is better than 2011.
I've got to look at the list and see what's in store for us, Rachel.
Thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good one.